What is up, guys? Welcome back to the next episode of Shredding Season. Now today, you may have seen in the intro, it depends whether or not I actually managed to get it, that I'm kind of the same weight as before. That's not correct. I've just had to use footage from before. Currently I'm sat at around 177 pounds ish, somewhere between 177 and 178. Now what happened was, I'm recording this now the morning after Mother's Day here in England. I know it's different over in the US. And so basically late last night, we went out for a meal. I ate a lot of food, went off the diet because I wasn't gonna just order chicken and vegetables in a restaurant. I can't bring myself to do that, unfortunately. I like my food too much. And also I had a couple of glasses of champagne and whatnot, so my weight's kind of ballooned up this morning, and I hadn't recorded what my weight was yesterday, which I should have done. I was just being lazy, to be honest. But yeah, like I said in my last video, I've changed things up with my diet, with my cardio, and last week I didn't really record much because I was actually, just absolutely smashing it. My food was on point, I was doing a lot more cardio, my gym sessions were longer, and I just, I was so laser focused on smashing through the weight, but I didn't actually record much of it. So this video here is really to just clean all that up and let you guys know where I'm at right now. So like I say, I've dropped another two and a bit pounds from the 179, 180 that I was before, and I am now sat at around 177 to 178 when I am not absolutely bloated from the day before. So with that being said, I'm going to crack on and show you what I've been eating day to day. I'm just going to go through a montage of like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then I'll talk over it and let you guys know what I've changed, how I've tweaked things. The general diet is still the same, but that is what's coming next. So I'll let you guys enjoy that, and then after that we're going to head to the gym. And I don't think we've had a chest workout on the channel in a long time, so I think we're going to do that today. And I'll also, when I narrate over that, tell you guys how I'm tweaking it and how different little things that I'm changing in my workouts are helping to aid break through those plateaus and really push my weight loss forward. And finally, on a side note, I got my hair cut because I was growing it out to do stuff with it, and I really never ever did anything with it. So I thought, screw it, I'm just going to go back to normal, cut it nice and short, easy to manage, and hopefully if my hair's cut, my body will follow suit. So let's get cracking with the food, and I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, let's go through the changes that I've made to my diet and the different ways that I'm eating the foods that I am and which foods I am eating. Now previously, if you've watched a few of my other videos, you'll know that I'd usually start off breakfast with a couple of fried eggs on a couple of bits of wholemeal bread, just to start the day off with nice fats, carbs and a bit of protein. And then for lunch I would switch it up and have something random, whatever could fit in my macros pretty much, whereas now I'm keeping it a bit more strict. Every single day I'm starting off breakfast this time with oats, about 40 to 50 grams of oats, putting in 1 scoop of chocolate caramel protein from myprotein.com. Adds a nice little chunk of protein basically to the breakfast, and also putting in a little bit of peanut butter, not quite a tablespoon, just like half a teaspoon or so, just to give it a bit of texture and a bit of a different flavour. And that way, you get the fats and a little boost to the protein, but without such a bad influx of fats, and not necessarily bad fats from the peanut butter, but just not so much, and therefore you save some later on. Now, where I'd normally have lunch, I've now swapped that to where I'll take in my eggs for an extra boost of protein. This time around though, going for 2 egg whites and 1 whole egg, scrambled on 1 piece of toast rather than 2. And this way, overall, I'm dropping the macros with how I previously would eat my eggs. I was taking in 19.4 grams of fat, 15 grams of protein and 34 grams of carbs, whereas this time around having the egg whites rather than the whole eggs, as well as just the 1 bit of bread and a banana and some water just to make up the extra carbs from lacking the bread. I'm now changing those figures to 8.7 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein and 37 grams of carbs total. So that's a drop of nearly 11 grams of fat out of that meal that I'm able to take off my total for the day, which of course, as you may know, I'm dropping from around 70-75 grams down to about 55, so knocking about 20 grams of fat off and trying to keep protein and carbs relatively similar. Now for dinner I would normally just go about like lunch, whatever I could find that would fit my macros and wasn't too bad, usually meat with carbs and veg of some sort, but it wasn't always lean. It was often breaded chicken, things like that. I've made that a few times on the channel. Now cutting that out, which also helps to reduce the fat, going with just plain chicken, bit of salt, bit of pepper, pan frying it in very, very little oil. I have like a spray where each spray is like 1 calorie, and I think like 10 sprays equals like 1 gram of fat, something like that. Coconut oil, very good for you, unsaturated fats, and a great way to be able to fry things without having to worry about the fat content too much. And then I just got a very simple baked potato, 200-300 calories, nothing too extreme. Obviously the chicken with that, you know, protein with this meal was 50 to 60 grams depending on how much chicken I have. There's only 5 or 6 grams of fat and 70 grams of carbs, so this way I'm still getting in a lot of my carbs, pretty much all of my protein, and not many fats. Also, I might note that outside of this, obviously I do eat other things to make up my macros for the day, and I'm just going to put a list on screen of all of the potential things I could have because they vary from day to day. Alright guys, we are now in the gym and I thought I might commentate over this workout because I haven't done one in a while. Basically starting off on this chest day with some incline dumbbell press, not too heavy, going for 12, maybe 15 reps on the first few sets. Just making sure to get the form perfect, keep the muscles working, remind it why it needs to be there, and not overdo it. Now racking the weights up a little bit, moving down to the sort of 8 to 12 rep range, slightly heavier, just going through the motions again. This particular gym doesn't have dumbbells that allows me to go full on with it, so I thought I'd use this movement as a bit of a warm up and then move on to bench press, and that way I could rack the weight up a bit higher. Okay, so with the bench press I racked the weight on as much as I could to still get maybe 5 to 7/8 reps out, because while you're cutting, although it is good to help burn calories to up, you know, the rate that you're performing the exercises, the frequency, the amount of sets, and to reduce the rest time, it's also good to remind your muscle that it needs to hang around for the odd occasion when that strength is necessary, because just pushing your muscles to the limit with heavy lifting is a great way to retain muscle mass even while dieting. So I dropped the weight slightly and again went for about 7 to 8 reps if I could. I went in total on all of these exercises for 5 sets. Here is the final set of the bench. As you can see, I've dropped the weight a little bit more, but trying to keep everything nice and uniform, going through the motions, making sure to get a pump, but also small rest times, you know, no more than 30 seconds in between each set. And if that causes you to have to keep dropping the weight, that's fine. You just got to make sure that you get the heart rate up and those calories being burnt. Okay, next I went on to some flies with the cable machine. Sometimes I do it with dumbbells, sometimes with the machine. Making sure to step far enough out so that you're getting the full stretch and full range of movement on the chest. As you go all the way back, you get that full stretch, and making sure to squeeze the contraction right at the end of the movement. Again, 5 sets of each of these, very little rest time in between these, and with something like this, as opposed to the bench press, the rest times you really can shorten and just keep going and going and going, getting the blood pumping and getting those calories burning at the rate that we want to be able to lose the weight that we need to lose. Next I just went on to some press ups until failure, as many as I could. Obviously the first set of the 5 doing far more than by the time I was at the end. I think this was the 2nd or 3rd set, so near the beginning, but the first one burns you out massively. And then I went on to do some dips just to finish off. You know, the bodyweight stuff is getting fairly easy now, so I'm sure once I've lost maybe 5-10 more pounds, I'll be going into weighted dips, weighted pull-ups and things like that. But anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it took so long. I've had a really busy last week or so with work and whatnot, but there will be plenty more to come. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe because we are so close to 400 subscribers at the time of me recording this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.